In this podcast episode, Dr. Tara Swart, a neuroscientist and former medical doctor, unfolds the compelling case for intuition as an essential complement to logic and rationality. Through a deep and insightful exploration, she articulates why trusting our instincts is a return to a primal physical part of ourselves that offers wisdom beyond what traditional, logic-driven thinking can grasp. Dr. Swart challenges the modern overemphasis on purely analytical decision-making and invites listeners to recognize intuition as a superpower, a uniquely human faculty that technology and AI are unlikely to replicate. The conversation begins with a consideration of how our modern world has pushed instinct and intuition to the sidelines, favoring logic and reason as the gold standards of credibility and decision-making. Dr. Swart traces this shift back to human brain evolution, particularly the development of the neocortex, which enabled advanced planning and language. While this expansion brought many benefits, it inadvertently devalued the primal wisdom inherent in our instinctual and emotional brain regions. Moreover, she highlights how only in recent decades have neuroscience technologies allowed us to glimpse the brain mechanisms driving emotion and intuition, which helped logic to dominate because it felt safer. However, with the accelerating rise of technology and AI, there is a cultural swing underway where intuition, creativity, emotion, and vulnerability are poised to become our critical advantages, capabilities that cannot be easily mimicked by machines. Delving into the nuances of gut feelings, Dr. Swart distinguishes between instinct and intuition. Instinct is described as a primal, survival-oriented shortcut intended to keep us safe by avoiding harm, evolved from Paleolithic needs. However, these survival instincts can sometimes work against us in modern contexts, where thriving, not just surviving, is the objective. Intuition, on the other hand, she defines as a wisdom shaped by the aggregation of experiences, learned patterns, and deep-seated knowledge, stored not only in the brain's emotional centers, but intriguingly also in the body itself. This mind-body connection is illuminated through explanations of new research about serotonin, mostly produced in the gut, affecting tone across the body's tissues, and how trauma and experiences can be physically embedded in the connective tissues and muscles. For Dr. Swart, the practice of tuning into intuition often manifests in physical sensations such as goosebumps or a shiver down the spine, signaling alignment with what feels right, even when the mind cannot yet explain why. Throughout the discussion, Dr. Swart conveys a respectful balance between scientific rigor and acknowledgement of mystery. She explores how much of human knowledge about intuition remains beyond our current ability to fully explain or measure, but this does not negate its effectiveness. The convergence of psychology, neuroscience, and emerging fields like neuroaesthetics, the study of how beauty and creativity positively impact brain health, adds richness to the conversation. The episode also ventures into the subtle realm of phenomena often dismissed by strict science, including near-death experiences, prophetic dreams, collective consciousness, and signs from beyond. Dr. Swart openly shares that while such experiences defy conventional proof, they contribute to her own worldview and have resonated with many people who relate to her stories. She embraces the paradox of holding scientific skepticism while remaining open to possibilities that currently elude empirical validation. For those skeptical or unfamiliar with following intuition, Dr. Swart recommends practical methods to develop and discern genuine intuitive insights from anxiety or bias-driven thoughts. Journaling serves as a fundamental practice, not merely writing daily entries, but thoughtfully reviewing previous entries to recognize recurring patterns and decision outcomes. This encourages self-awareness and helps build trust in one's internal signals. She also advocates simple physical techniques like placing hands sequentially on the head for logic, heart for emotion, and gut for intuition, combined with breathing exercises to cleanse mental clutter and invite clarity from these different inner voices. When these domains align, decision-making is smoother. When they conflict, the process requires more reflection and sometimes input from trusted friends to help untangle the noise. Starting small is key. Dr. Swart emphasizes making low-risk decisions guided by intuition and observing the results, gradually strengthening that internal muscle. She notes that younger individuals may find this more challenging due to less life experience forming the basis of reliable intuitive patterns, as well as ongoing brain development until the mid-20s. Conversely, older adults tend to be more comfortable and adept at leaning on intuition as a decision-making tool. Dr. Swart underscores the intimate connection between physical health and mental faculties, particularly the importance of the gut-brain axis in intuition's accessibility. Chronic stress, inflammation, dehydration, and poor nutrition dampen cognitive flexibility, emotional regulation, and creative thinking, the very faculties necessary to access intuition effectively. Cortisol, the stress hormone, induces systemic inflammation and redirects blood flow away from higher brain functions toward survival mode, rendering clear intuitive insights less accessible. To counter this, adopting a gut-friendly diet rich in fiber, fermented foods, diverse plant-based products, and possibly targeted probiotics is critical. She mentions that some companies now offer personalized gut microbiome analysis to tailor probiotic use, but also counsels that general healthy eating practices can make significant differences. Magnesium supplementation is highlighted for its stress-mitigating benefits, especially in modern lifestyles. Beyond physical health, the people around us influence our intuitive capacities significantly. Dr. Swart points out how living and sharing intimacy with partners involves immune system exchanges and even unconscious selection based on olfactory cues linked to genetic diversity. Psychologically, having a supportive tribe that validates rather than dismisses one's intuitive experiences creates the psychological safety necessary to take healthy risks and strengthen trust in inner knowing. Romantic relationships provide a vivid example of when ignoring gut feelings has profound consequences. Dr. Swart notes the common human tendency to cling to failing relationships due to sunk cost fallacy or fear of being single again, overriding clear intuitive red flags. Developing the skill to notice early signals and act accordingly is a key lesson. Career decisions, relocation, and other major life choices also benefit from the integrated approach of combining logic, emotion, and intuition. Dr. Swart recounts the famous example of Charles Darwin's pros and cons list on marriage, humorously illustrating that even great minds struggle with rational calculation alone. The tension between internal logical analysis, emotional response, and intuitive sense creates a common form of inner conflict for many, which can result in prolonged ambivalence or distress. Overcoming this requires deliberate effort to acknowledge and balance all aspects, learning to roll with decisions and adapt rather than waiting for perfect certainty. Toward the close, the conversation turns to future scientific frontiers that may revolutionize our understanding of consciousness, intuition, and life after death. Dr. Swart identifies longevity research and psychedelics as burgeoning fields, while also considering near-death experiences and altered states of consciousness as areas ripe for new insights. She reflects on how much we currently accept without full proof: time, space, even consciousness itself, and raises the possibility that future science will integrate aspects now dismissed as metaphysical or spiritual. The emergent worldview may normalize phenomena like signs or symbolic coincidences that many experience as meaningful intuitions. Dr. Tara Swart's perspective invites a profound reevaluation of how we view decision-making, knowledge, and consciousness. She advocates cultivating intuition as a tangible superpower that not only enriches individual lives with creativity, resilience, and fulfillment, but also complements the logical frameworks of modern life. Her balanced approach, honoring science while embracing mystery, mind while engaging body, logic while trusting emotion, offers a roadmap for living more fully and wisely in an increasingly complex world.